everybody. Let's give a round of applause for everybody who made this happen, for all the hardworking comrades in the executive board and the Politburo. Take my word for it. This party is in good hands. I could not be prouder to work with my comrades in the executive board and the Politburo. Truly an exceptional type of individual has made it to that level of the party. And I have seen nothing but selflessness and determination on their part when it comes to serving the interests of the party above any other kind of interest, including individual interest. Now, one of the biggest reproaches to our party after it was launched is that everyone was asking, what is your program? How can you be a party without a program? You see, it wasn't enough for them that we had only launched our party for a few months, and even with that time, we were demonstrating the character and the nature of our party through what our chapters and members were actually doing. They somehow tried to make it seem as though our party was illegitimate because we didn't have a finalized program yet. Well, what can they say now? Because I'm proud to announce that our final draft of the program of the American Communist Party is complete, and I'm excited to share it with you today. So, what is our vision for America? What do we seek to fulfill? What goal do we seek to accomplish when it comes to the transformation of this country, the establishment of good governance, the establishment of a republic by, for, and of the people, and at that, a united republic, a republic of one people and one nation? Well, first and foremost, the first point in our program is the unilateral and complete cancellation of all debts, private and public. We will emancipate the people of our country from the modern form of slavery, debt slavery, and we now avow ourselves proudly as enemies in combat against the banks. We'll overthrow their dictatorship and occupation of our country, and we have nothing to conceal toward that end. And I hope I don't get, here now. You see, 4 or 5 days ago, I returned back from Russia, and I thought in my head as I was leaving the airport, they honestly shouldn't have let me back in, I mean, look at all this today, and maybe they should have apprehended me or something. In any case, the second point of our program, the abolition of the Federal Reserve and the establishment of a people's national bank, a state bank. And not only is it going to be a state bank, it's going to be a state bank that utilizes and appropriates the latest AI technologies to invest public credit in our country on the basis of socially based indexes, quality of life indexes, development indexes, pro-social, pro-human indexes, not on the basis of the pure pursuit of profit, but on the basis of fulfilling a national plan, fulfilling the general welfare and happiness of our people. In keeping with the historical program of the Communist Party of the United States of America, and with the program of the historical progressive struggle of the American peoples, we seek the establishment of an economic Bill of Rights, a new contract, a new form of popular sovereignty it's not just exclusively based on giving us legal rights and giving us rights on the basis of citizenship and laws, but giving us rights to existence, giving us rights to livelihood, giving us the right to a home, to the ability to have a decent job, to be able to have access to health care, access to child care, Social Security, quality education. These are things we must demand as rights as the American people. And we've been getting scammed big time since the post-war period for the fact that we've assumed that the minimal extent of economic welfare that we do receive is somehow a consequence of the beneficence of politicians, philanthropists, and capitalists. No, ladies and gentlemen, these are not charitable forms of compassion on the part of the ruling class. They were hard-won gains that were gained at gunpoint, as a matter of fact. Gain on the bond and on the threat that we would experience a revolution similar to the one that was experienced in Russia on 1917. Now, our fourth point in our party program is land, agricultural, and housing reform. The fundamentals of economic space need to be socialized. We need to end the corporate monopolization of our farmland and resources as a nation. We need to prohibit parasitic land speculation, the establishment of a state, municipal, and cooperative ownership of all land, similar to the system that is established in China, which simultaneously allows contractual usage rights for enterprises, families, and individuals. We stand for the protection of the rights of farmers and the large-scale construction of public agricultural infrastructure backed by state credit. The Communist Party stands for an immediate moratorium on the use of GMOs and other harmful pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides in agriculture, pending comprehensive public investigation by a People's Health Commission, which is to be outside the influence of corporate monopolies. The Communist Party stands for severe personal penalties for introducing harmful substances into the food and water supply. No longer will the capitalist class poison the people of our great nation and get away with it. The Communist Party stands for the abolition of speculation in real estate and housing property. And it stands for the dispossession of all slumlords without compensation. The Communist Party stands for the nationalization, the restructuring, and the repurposing of all large-scale commercial real estate development and construction companies into state-owned enterprises. For the fifth part of our program, we seek to establish a national industrial policy. We seek the nationalization, the restructuring, and the conversion of all large-scale strategic industries into state-owned enterprises. The Communist Party stands for the promotion and development of advanced technology sectors, such as high-tech manufacturing, computing, and artificial intelligence. With regard to our energy and infrastructure policy, we seek for the rapid and comprehensive development of all viable energy technologies, including nuclear fusion technology. We seek the construction of new cities across America connected by high-speed rail. Honestly, why don't we have that? It's crazy, yeah? The Communist Party stands for the wholesale nationalization of the energy sector, without compensation, obviously. We also stand for the nationalization of the telecommunications industry and the implementation of a high-speed network infrastructure throughout America. With regard to health care, our position is, let's just say, slightly to the left of that of Bernie Sanders, because we seek for the wholesale nationalization, restructuring, and conversion of all pharmaceutical companies into state-owned enterprises with a mandate to cure diseases rather than profit from them. seek the elimination of private healthcare consultant industries and the seizure of all databases from health insurance companies and the integration of these databases into a national healthcare system with the wholesale eradication of the private insurance industry. We stand for the adoption of public health care programs and initiatives promoting preventative and holistic care, the implementation of physical exercise and fitness campaigns on a national scale, and the construction of new healthcare facilities in rural areas. We seek the right to refuse medical interventions and for the abolition of all blanket indemnification of corporate liability for medical injuries. The party seeks, with regard to the question of education, comprehensive reform of public schooling on the basis of acquiring practical knowledge, technical skill, and core social values. Basically the opposite of what the university industrial complex has for the American people today. A complex we seek the wholesale abolition of, and the creation of a nationwide network of subsidized and cost-free trade schools and community colleges, along with the streamlining and optimization of STEM education and training in emergent technologies. Now, this one is a little bit personal. We seek social media reform. We seek the breakup and nationalization of social media monopolies and the expansion of First Amendment speech protections to all social media platforms, owned or subsidized by the state. We also seek to protect the private data privacy rights of individuals, to monitor, correct, and erase data collected about them by internet services, and for severe penalties when these services fail to minimize and protect sensitive data. And we also seek to promote healthy, positive, and family-oriented trends online. Here's one that's maybe a little controversial, because I know we're all proud Americans here, and we're proud of the way we can distinguish ourselves from the Europeans and from the rest of the world. But it's about time we implemented the universal metrication of the country. We standardize our weights and measures so that they make sense and they're not ridiculously complicated. We stand for the abolition completely of intellectual property. No more intellectual property-based monopolies and parasites collecting rent passively while doing nothing innovative. We stand for the wholesale dismantling and investigation into the corrupt and criminal practices of the entertainment and music industries. Diddy should have been arrested a long time ago. We seek the persecution of major heads of media and record labels. Hollywood, we're coming for you. But the fourth industrial revolution, in the hands of the people, in the hands of the working class, can be a great advance for mankind. It can be put to great use as far as the improvement, the development of our human quality of life. To that end, we seek the acceleration of the fourth industrial revolution. We seek the establishment of state, municipal, and cooperative enterprise systems that operate according to socially governed principles of the modern information economy rather than purely profit. We seek for the large-scale implementation of cybernetic technologies across the whole economy and the implementation of AI-driven national economic planning with the express aim of advancing national development, reducing the work week and laboring years, and improving objective indexes of general quality of life and happiness. This is a possibility and version of socialism none of the Marxists of the past century could have even dreamed of. And it's possible today, and we seek to establish it in this country. Comrades, our military, as we all know, is overbloated. The budget that we expend on the military as a percentage of our total GDP is much higher than any other country on earth. So what should we do? What do we propose we do with our bloated US military? Well, let's start with converting it into a public works and service army, not that different from the army we have already created the basic foundations of on a much smaller scale, that will seek to deploy things like the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to rebuild, repair, and improve public infrastructure, mobilize itself to provide relief from environmental disasters, renovate small communities, and construct large-scale public works. Regarding the question of security and national defense, we seek the establishment of a people's militia, not that different from the very vision of our own founding fathers. The party stands for the establishment of a people's militia to safeguard internal and domestic security and replace all police and law enforcement bodies. Now, I'm not sure how many of you were keeping up with my own antics on social media and activities when I was visiting the Donbass, but I shot an RPG. It's pretty cool. But to that end, maybe we can't do that on a universal scale, but we stand for the promotion of civil training in the responsible use, handling, and repair of firearms and other modern weapons for all American citizens. We stand for the implementation of compulsory military training by all citizens in people's militias and the adoption of popular self-defense as the supreme principle of the armed body of the state. The American people must participate in the violent body of the state. They must themselves participate in the very foundation of the state, which Mao tells us stems from the barrel of a gun. Only then can we have a true democracy, a true people's republic. We have the power, fighting in the belly of the beast, to dismantle wholesale US imperialism and the US global imperialist system. We have the power to close all overseas military bases. We seek the unconditional destruction of NATO, the elimination of transnational financial institutions like the IMF in favor of sovereign, multilateral economic agreements and win-win cooperation. We seek the wholesale abolition of the military-industrial complex, the elimination of all three-letter agencies, the immediate and unequivocal halt to all foreign military aid. We aspire to the wholesale eradication of US-led global intelligence networks and the closure of all US-based global NGOs that serve imperialism. As communists, we are committed to the right to the national self-determination, to join new multilateral global institutions in order to promote global peace through joint development initiatives. The party is committed to reorienting from an offensive to a strictly defensive national military posture. The party stands, in addition to all of this, for the publication of all secret treaties and agreements, for the exposure of all trafficking rings and criminal networks linked to U.S. intelligence, politicians, and corporate entities, and for the merciless public prosecution of those complicit in crimes against the American people and the people of the world. For the investigation and criminal prosecution of corporate and foreign lobbies with a proven deleterious effect on the American public. We seek to end another modern system of slavery in the form of mass immigration. The Communist Party stands for the immediate end to the system of promoting mass immigration and its replacement with a bilateral framework for the negotiation of population exchanges on a rational, humane, and planned basis. We seek the abolition of the drug trade and all criminal enterprises. The party stands for the elimination of all drug trafficking cartels, gangs, and other forms of criminal enterprise, and the exposure and prosecution of those criminal networks with ties to intelligence agencies. The party stands for the wholesale abolition of the sex industry, including prostitution and pornography. We stand for the elimination of gambling industries and other socially harmful vices cultivated by the capitalist system. The party stands for the swift and merciless prosecution of the criminal terrorization of American communities and families. Our country, relative to other civilizations, is a new country and a new civilization. And rather than attempt to emulate the ways of the old world, the party stands for the cultivation and discovery of national continental American culture on the basis of its unique history, geography, and ethnic makeup of the American peoples. The party stands for the promotion of language, autonomy, economic development, and culture of the American tribes. The party stands for the construction of a unified American historical, national, and cultural identity to overcome all racial and cultural antagonisms. Finally, last but not least, we all love our country, which we know as the United States of America, though some of you live in Canada. In any case, the United States of America was never supposed to be the end and the conclusion of the American Revolution of 1776. The United States of America was the consequence of a necessary compromise to unite the various American states against the British colonialists. But now, in the 21st century, we seek the reconstitution of the United States of America, similar to how we've reconstituted the Communist Party USA into one united republic. We seek the establishment of a unicameral Continental People's Congress the subjugation of the judiciary by the legislature, and the adoption of a standardized and universal American civil code. And as authoritarian as that sounds, we also seek the decentralization of day-to-day administration and governance to the maximal degree. All of those administration and governance conditions not enumerated by the American Civil Code, they should be decentralized to municipal, local, and cooperative authorities so that the people can govern themselves. Our vision for America is not simply to put a red coat of paint on the existing state. It's the development and advancement of the American national state project into a new stage of history. We're not here to sit around idly and wait for it to happen. We're here to lead that effort ourselves as the American Communist Party. Our people, the American people, and the American working class can be liberated and emancipated only insofar as it commits itself to the furtherance and the development of an independent and truly sovereign American state project. And this is the project while we fight the day-to-day struggles of the American working class, while you're getting involved in the local struggles of labor and of unions, while you're getting involved in combating injustice at the town hall level in the small communities that you're operating in, let us have this big and grand vision of a new united American republic in mind, because our dreams and our ambitions are much greater than can be reduced in our actions today or even tomorrow. This is a vision and a dream and a plan that is in scale meant to encompass the lives of hundreds of millions of people. Let us bravely go forward with this vision in mind and carry forward the development of history into a new stage as we enter a new era and chapter of American history. Comrades, as we're gathered here today on this historic day, I want everyone to take the time to think deeply about the party constitution and program we've created and crafted today. This convention was meant to run by you what we have been working on for months, sometimes in secret, because before the announcement of our party, only a few people could even know about the plan to launch this party. For basic security purposes, we have been working closely together with your concerns, your criticisms, and your feedback close to our hearts and close in mind. Not that close. With that being said, I'd like a vote to be held. All in favor of the adoption of the program I have just presented to you now, yay. Yay! Now, don't be afraid, but any nays? None? Unanimous then. Comrades, we have ratified our Constitution. We have published our program. Now what can our enemies say? Nothing. I want tonight to be a source of encouragement for you going forward. We've spent a long time tonight congratulating ourselves. But it's also good to be harsh on ourselves. It's good to be critical toward ourselves. It may surprise you, but self-criticism is about 90% of my day when I'm awake, which is sometimes, like in the past 4 days, a little too much of the day, right? I don't know if you could tell. But in any case, what we have accomplished today is something we've accomplished in word. We've accomplished documents, we've adopted programs. But for our first national convention of the American Communist Party, I would like us to engage with all of us together here, so many people. It's an army, really. A gesture of goodwill to the community we are in right now. So tomorrow at Humboldt Park, I ask you and invite you to meet us at 1 p.m., where we are going to engage in a public service act, a gesture of goodwill to the meeting place of our convention, to give back to the community